The Saint-Nazaire landing zone is located at the foot of the Château Nardin summit in the center of this image. This Château Nardin summit is itself at the southern end of the Petite Roche Plateau, just before the Manival ravine. From the Dent de Crolles takeoff, you cannot see the Saint-Nazaire landing zone precisely because it is hidden by Château Nardin. Fortunately, this landing zone is easy to spot as soon as you pass the edge of the Plateau des Petites Roches. The road going from Saint-Nazaire-les-Eymes up to the plateau through the tunnel in the cliff is very visible in the forest. Just above the city, this road makes two very characteristic 45 degrees bends, separated by approximately 700 meters. The official FFVL Saint-Nazaire landing zone is located inside the first 45-degree bend above the houses. But this year, during the Coupe Icare, we ask you to land in a temporary landing zone located a little bit further down on the other side of the main road, just above the last houses. This temporary landing zone is larger and easier to use than the official FFVL Saint-Nazaire landing zone. During the Coupe Icare, this temporary landing zone will be marked with a white line showing its center and the main landing axis. All the rest of the year, in the absence of this marking, this landing zone is forbidden and landing on the official FFVL landing zone is compulsory. The location of these landing zones near the main road going up towards the Petite Roche Plateau is a major advantage for pilots. Once the paraglider is folded, there's just a short walk to do to hitch a ride and quickly get back up to the plateau. Caution though, the absence of a shoulder on the road near the temporary landing zone makes it dangerous to hitchhike there. Use the footpath through the meadow on the other side of the road, then walk up to the end of the small cemetery road to hitchhike safely near the FFVL landing zone. The main difficulty with this landing zone is that the ground is on an inclined plane. Seen from above, the whole area looks flat, but this is deceptive. The slope is about the same as the 9:1 glide ratio of our wings. This is why it is very important to lose altitude downstream of the landing zone and end with an L-shaped approach going uphill. Any attempt to enter the landing zone downhill is likely to end up beyond it, downstream or in the trees. To lose altitude, make your figure 8 turns over the fields below the landing zone without flying over the houses. Then start the final L going uphill. Warning, again, due to the slope, you must stop the 8s and start the L at a higher ground height than you would do on a flat ground. The Grésivaudan Valley wind generally blows from the northeast to the southwest in the afternoon, regardless of the direction of the wind in altitude. And so you generally have to do a right-hand L following the small hedge on the left side of the landing zone, then turning right as close as possible from that hedge to land along the long length of the field. In the rare case of a southerly valley wind, do a left-hand L following the road on the right, then turning left as late as possible. On very unstable days, the thermal breeze can take over the Grésivaudan Valley wind and therefore blow uphill, perpendicular to the main length of the landing zone. Do not make the mistake of trying to land facing the wind, so facing downhill. Instead, do make an L-shaped approach from downstream, as explained previously. The first leg of the L will therefore be downwind, then do a crosswind landing. Conversely, in the evening, when the cliffs have gone into shade, a downhill breeze blows across the landing zone. As always, make an L uphill with the first branch upwind, then a crosswind landing. Warning, as you will fly upwind in the first branch of the L, you must start it with an even greater ground height than usual. Danger. The road to Saint-Hilaire is in a trench below the east side of the temporary landing zone. When landing facing the east, it's not visible anymore during the last seconds before touchdown. If you're entering the landing zone too high, do not hesitate to do additional eighths to avoid gliding too long into the road. Here I've just left Château-Nardin and I'm now gliding towards the landing zones. Straight ahead, we can see the FFVL landing zone, normally used except for Coupe Icare. Just beyond it there's a small meadow, then the new cemetery, and after another larger meadow, the houses of Saint-Nazaire-les-Eymes. During Coupe Icare, the field we're interested in is the one to the right of the main road after the small vineyard. It is between that vineyard and the lone tree that's in the alignment of the last houses. I'm doing the final eighth closer to the landing zone in preparation for landing. Et voilà.